My apologies today. I've been saying a lot of slow, so I'm sorry about that. All right, so what we're going to talk about in today's webinar, we're going to talk about how to develop an effective organic strategy on Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, this is just the strategy we're going to discuss. We are not going into a lot of details as to how to post and all of that. It's good to understand Facebook and how to actually implement and what strategy works better for your business. So we're going to discuss a backbone of organic strategy. I'm going to talk about increasing your reach on Facebook with engaging content. Is anyone else, so Janine is asking, is anyone else getting echo with the sound?
Yes, I am too.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Yeah, I muted and that helped when I muted myself.
Okay, so let's sorry about this. But let's get everyone. I thought everyone was muted. You have headphones on. Yeah, hey Daniel. I am not. Okay. So I'm going to continue for a little bit. If you still have an echo, I'll try my headphone because sometimes the headphones create a little tiny problem. But I'll actually show you. Okay. Let's try the headphone and see. Hopefully, I move a lot, so hopefully I'm not going to pull the laptop. All right. What about now? Is that better? I'll probably have to talk. Seems to be. Okay, not a problem. But let me know if there is anything in there. We can always try something else. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is going to be measuring the success of your content. It's very important for us to measure, and I'm going to go through, and it's very frustrating because there's so many things out there that you hope that you don't know what to use in order for you to measure. So I'm going to go through exactly what we use in my agency. Hi, Judy. Welcome. We're good at the moment, I think. All right, measuring the success of your content. Using group as part of your organic strategy. We'll go through that as well. And then I'm going to go through the measuring the success of your group, how you measure it. There's only 3 things we go through when it comes to measuring, and we'll definitely go through some Q&A with you. So just a quick thing about me, I just want to make sure everyone knows that I love coffee, and gin and soda is my favorite drink. So if you're going to go out drinking, this is what I want. And if you want to catch up, coffee is the cheapest thing I can do it. I think if I need to be, if someone needs to kidnap me, coffee bank probably be the best thing to go. But that's probably what I get caught. Still, oh, Michelle, it's still echo. Maybe the speaker you have. Is everyone? I think it's a mix up of probably the sound system. And I'm sorry if it echoes. I don't have anything else on, so I don't know why it's echoing. Shouldn't have anything interfering with. Still with echo. Sorry about that. I probably have to continue. Okay. All right. Just try to throw. Just want to make sure that everyone's in. I actually got one person come in. Just have to allow one more person in. And we're good. Okay. We're good. You can hear me, Choppy. I muted, but your volume goes up and down. Yeah, it's still difficult to hear. All right, let's try. This is strange. I don't know why has it come to the afternoon. This has always happened when I'm in. Good now, is it? All right. Okay, I'm just not gonna. All right, let's start again, and then we'll see what happens. So don't forget to connect with me. I would love to get social. That is clear. Oh, is it? I took my headphone off. All right. So, okay. Could be a system thing. I don't know. All right. Let's talk about backbone of your organic strategy. when it comes to Facebook. So when it comes to encouraging people to engage with your business on Facebook, we all know there are 3 ways that they can do that. They can come through either your business page, Facebook group, and Facebook ads. So obviously today we're not going to be talking about advertising. I'm going to talk about the strategy with regards to the organic. So what I mean by Facebook business page, so how I see and how I always recommend for people to see the business page as a central point for all the information for your business, about your business on the platform. So you're providing, it's another digital footprint, because you've got to remember, our website is very important. However, we need to hang out on the platforms that our audience hang out, and that platform has audience's attention, because that's what we want. So I want to see it as a central point for all the information. This is another sort of website. Even though it's more than a website, you need to build a community on that, but that's the closest I can compare it to. Even though, I want you to remember, even though Facebook algorithm changed since 2018, and they said the organic reach has dropped since 2018. And one of the things that I remember they were saying, it's got nothing to do with advertising. Well, to be honest, what is it, 2018, 2022? 4 or 5 years later, they're $1 trillion business. So obviously it's not a Facebook bashing, it's an amazing platform, but their organic reach dropped dramatically. However, it is still a core component of your organic strategy when it comes to Facebook marketing. So there are 3 reasons, is your page is public and it does come up on the search engine. It doesn't necessarily, when someone searches for your products and services, it doesn't necessarily the post come up. This is from the experience that I have. Your page will still come up, obviously, after LinkedIn page, after LinkedIn profile, after your website. Your Facebook page will come up if you have optimized it correctly with SEO. So it's very important. It is a public place. If someone is looking for the products or services that you are offering, and you have optimized your about section, your post, and all the information that you provide on this platform is optimized with the search phrases that they're looking for, you will be found. The next one is, people expect you to have a Facebook page. When someone asks you if you're on Facebook, they don't necessarily care if you're personally on Facebook, because we sort of brainwashed. I think it's the right word, brainwashed, and we think, oh, everyone's on Facebook. So it's an expectation. But if you are in LinkedIn, it's a very different thing. Your professional profile, your personal profile is so important, because that's where you look first. So it is an expectation when it comes to the Facebook and Instagram. It is an expectation. People just expect businesses to have a Facebook page. Again, like I said, it's actually your page is a source of information. You can obviously use it to promote. It's against Facebook policy if you use Facebook profile as your business name. If they find that, they definitely shut you down. So it is against their policy. They want you to have your Facebook page, and you can use that. There's so many insights available. You can use it for promotion, and it legitimizes you as a business on Facebook, even though there's a lot of fake one. But if you are a legitimate business and you are providing valuable content, you are building a community, and this place you connect with your audiences. One of the things that we didn't have 10 years ago. So my first business back in 2001, I didn't have that. Even though we always say Facebook owns the attention and Facebook owns everything on there, I could never have the same connection that I have at the moment using this platform with my end user. It's not gated. I can still talk to my end user. Where before, Yellow Pages, everything was gatekeepers were Yellow Pages, newspapers, radio. So you sort of stuck in their mess. Even though I know Facebook has all the control over the data, they own the data and everything else. But this close connection, which our audiences directly, without the middlemen or middlewomen. It's really good. Like, we didn't have this. So it is still an amazing platform to use it as a source of information. The next one you can consider is Facebook group. So Facebook group, I want you to have a look at Facebook group as a place for building a deep connection. And obviously it's a two-way communication between your prospect, your client, and your business. So you build very different from pages. Pages, majority of time, is one way, but with the group, it's very specific. You can have a two-way communication. They can have a direct access to you and your business and your team, which is a really good thing. It's another great way for you to build that relationship with your audiences. Currently, there are 400 million people belong to a Facebook group. Just imagine, 400 million. With that stat alone, it's very vital for you to think about it, to consider it, to see if you can incorporate groups as part of your organic strategy, because we don't just want to spend on advertising. We have to be, I always say that, one of the things that I always recommend, do not haphazardly go into advertising. I do advertising since 2018. I love the advertising. I love the platform. We generate a lot of revenue for the business owners, but I've never recommended for you to jump in and just advertise. Facebook got enough money, $1 trillion business. I'm sure they're fine. So what I would always recommend for you to do is spend time and have a plan before you actually advertise. So your organic strategy is very important. Marissa is asking, can you join a group as a business page or just a personal page? This is all depend on the group admin, what they decide. There are some groups that they're very specific and they only want personal profile to join. I'm part of one of the groups that I am part of is a digital marketing group. I'll pay for that group anyway for the subscription, but the businesses, we cannot join with our business pages. We can only join with our profile. So it all depends on the admin. If they allow you, you can if they allow businesses to join, when you're going to go and join, Facebook gives you an option to see which one do you want to join with. But if it doesn't, it won't actually come up. Okay. All right. So how group can help your business? This is so important. It's so good when you build a community and engage group. It helps foster it helps foster connection. And you got to remember, we buy from people that we like and trust. And this is a great opportunity for you to interact with people. It's a place for your customers, and it doesn't necessarily mean prospect. You can use it for customers as well, to connect with other like-minded individual, to share information, ask their questions, connect with you directly as a business owner. And I want you to remember, it's not necessarily just for the prospect. This can be your delighting audiences. So there is a stage when it comes to selling, especially when it comes to the social selling, there is a delight stage that the marketing, I don't know if you've heard it, it's a delight stage that this is sort of when you go above and beyond. Even in some cases, we've done it with the clients when they get a freebie, and you've probably seen it as well. When there's a freebie, they ask you to join a group. So the reason that they want you to join a group is because they can delight you with above and beyond. So you fall in love with their businesses, you see what they can do for you, they answer your question. So it's easier to convert these prospects or these audiences to a paying customers, or even buying a bigger product, which you can always do that, to more expensive product or your premium product through this delight stages. I think I have one more person. I just need to allow one more person to talk. Okay. Oops. Sorry. Just playing up again. And one of the other ones, which is the best one, especially all of us, how many of us that we hear the word algorithm and we think, oh my God, this algorithm again. It actually plays into algorithm. The reason is because since 2018, the visibility is really low. You will get a better engagement, and the reason being Facebook obviously wants people to use the groups because obviously they're running out of space on the news feed. They want to use it for more advertising, so they use groups to use it. I'm sure eventually they're going to use it, and I'm sure eventually they're going to monetize it. So you as a creator will be able to monetize people joining your group, and I think they some cases you can do that at the moment. So definitely plays into the algorithm. You can absolutely take advantage of this to bring people into that group, build a relationship. And there is a section, and there will definitely, people who are actually inside your group, they will get a notification every time there is a change or something happens. Even though groups plays into the algorithm and groups are great to build a relationship and everything else, you got to keep in mind it's not for every business. You want to make sure it aligns with your business goals and objectives and provides additional value to your audience. If you're thinking of creating a group for promoting your products, another platform, another place to promote your product, exactly the similar way that you're doing advertising on Facebook page or however you're using your website, is just not going to be, it won't help you. It's not adding additional value. By creating community that fosters engagement and showcases how different people use your product in their day-to-day lives, that could be adding value. But if you're going to use it just to promote your product, it's just not going to work. It's just never going to work. It's not set up that way, and people wouldn't like it. You and I are exactly the same. So I want you to put yourself in that spot, and if you want to use it just to promote your products or services, I don't want you to do that. It just doesn't work. You're going to stretch yourself as well. You're going to stress yourself out. People are going to come and they're going to go, oh, she or he is just selling to me, even though we do use it to convert. But it's not just for promoting your products. There's a totally different purpose when it comes to the Facebook group. So how are groups different from pages? Obviously, you can build that analytics called group insight. So they look into totally different things compared to the pages. You can set your Facebook group as private, which I 100% recommend if you are thinking of using that for your organic strategy. Set it as private. You can post. The thing I love about it is you can post documents. If people join that group specifically to have access to the certain services you provide, you can post documents, create polls, obviously. You can even use it to buy and sell within the group. It all depends what the group is for. Members can chat with each other. This is the best thing about it, because what we're planning to do is we want to create an environment that members starting having a conversation together. You've been into the groups that everyone is actually having a conversation. The person who started it, they hardly get involved. They've got team members who actually get involved sometimes, but the members actually having a conversation and they take advantage of their own expertise and they help each other out. So that is a very good group, which it takes a lot of time and effort. So if you've seen a group, if you started a group and maybe not much happens, just hanging there, provide value, it takes a lot of time and effort, but you can absolutely get there. If you compare your group to another group, which is engaging for long, people talk to each other, it's been there for a long time, but it's a compound effect. It will pay off. And the thing I love about it is between the Facebook page and LinkedIn Facebook group, it's even though you are using Facebook page to build a community and build a connection to bring people in, the audiences cannot have a one-on-one conversation with each other. So that's why it's really good when they trust each other as a private group and they have the conversation with each other. And also the members will get a notification. So your notification, if you look at your phone or wherever you are, the groups are different. So if there's people part of your group, the notification is separate from the rest of the notification. What about participating in other people's group? Absolutely, Bob. Just remember, we need to adhere to their rules. We need to be respectful of their rules, but absolutely, definitely one of the things that you can actually, especially when you're starting out, to build yourself an authority in the field, you can absolutely use that to show that you can help them. One of the things I recommend, we never say, come and check out my page or this is my offer, but help them by actually helping. And trust me, people actually come and look for you. Before we go though, make sure when you're active in the group, if it's not your business page, your professional profile is optimized as well. Your picture is there, your header, and in the bio section of your own professional on your Facebook profile, put a little explanation as to what you do. So just in case if you're helping someone out and they're interested to see, for example, what Barbara does, when they click on Barbara's profile, they can land on there, they can see Barbara's face, and you can make it private, but they can see the bio section of it. So just in case if they're interested, they can follow you that way. But absolutely, Barbara. But we want to help them by actually helping them and be respectful of the group owners. I always believe that we need to be respectful of the people who actually own that group. So just quickly, Facebook group will never replace your page because the functionality are very, very different. Your Facebook page is still a great source of advertising, still a great source of using it to generate leads, and they just work differently, but they work hand in hand together. All right, so I'm going to talk about increasing your reach on Facebook with engaging content. So there is only 1% of users who liked your page who ever revisited. Only 1%. And all of us know, usually when you're starting a page, we ask family and friends and they like it, they're happy to like it, but they could actually select if they don't want to follow. So less than 1% of these people will ever revisit your page. And less than 2% since 2018, and I think recently they've done a study, less than 2% of people who actually chose to follow your page will ever see your post. So you must be wondering, hang on a second, so why would I even do that then? What's the point? Why should I do that? But you've got to remember, when it comes to Facebook marketing or even Instagram marketing, any social media marketing, posting content is a core function of the success of your marketing on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on wherever you're active. I know we're talking about Facebook, but posting content is a core function of it. But you're wondering if there's still view my content gets looked at, do I even bother doing this? Absolutely. However, though, you need to be, things have changed, things are becoming very tricky, but you can still reach your audiences. The key is engaging content. You need to be savvy and agile and think differently about the strategy. For example, Facebook, this year they actually said, if you're organically putting a link on the Facebook post and you want people to leave the ecosystem, Facebook's ecosystem, you are not going to get any reach. So this is why I say we need to be savvy. So now we know this is what Mark Zuckerberg said. There's so many changes with ISO 14 with Apple. Anything outside of Facebook is owned by Microsoft, which owns Google, YouTube, LinkedIn. So you got to remember that's why they're protected. So the thing that we say we need to be savvy. So now that we understand how they work, if you're creating engaging content, if you're creating videos and you post it on YouTube, post that organically on your Facebook page. Post that organically on your Facebook group. Try to maybe share content between a group and a page. Because if it's inside their ecosystem, it works absolutely fine. If you want to take them out of their platform, organically doesn't work. They don't like it because they're just worried you're going to leave and then you never come back. They want you to stay in the platform. So that's why we need to be really agile and we need to be very savvy as to what to do and how to do it. But we need to make sure that we are providing content. So how do you increase organic content? Publish content more frequently. Posting once or twice a month, it's not enough. So Facebook actually said themselves, every time a user, so every time we do something on Facebook, we stop scrolling. Facebook knows that we stopped, we read something, we pressed on read more, or we like something, obviously we like something, we share something, we commented on something. These are to them is like signals. So we give Facebook, the algorithm, the machine signal as to what we like and what we're interested in. So based on that, Facebook algorithm goes and curates about 1,500 possible content that I might be interested every time I log on Facebook. So you can just imagine 1,500. There's no way I get the chance to actually see it. I hardly get some of the posts that friends do. So then is your content, which you only post it once or twice a month, it's just not going to be shown. There is no engagement. They don't see it. You still have to be consistent with your content. I have to go catch up. No worries, Wendy. So we need to be posting consistent. Next one we need to talk about is quality of content. We can't just, and I said that before, we can't just share links. We can't share someone else's version. I want you to, even if you see something and you read something, I want you to actually have an opinion based on your experience. Obviously, your experience is very different, even if it's the same industry, or if you find something that your audience might like to hear. And it's not just about our products and services. They're humans like us, interested in something else. And one of the things I offer is I tell people, if you want to share other content, you can always share content about other services and products that complement your services and products. That way you can diversify it and you can create quality content. I want you to spend more time. I want you to spend more time crafting a better Facebook post than just crafting a lot of Facebook posts. And probably one of the challenges is not knowing who your audience is. I know I'm talking about this, but get to know your audience. Be very, very clear about your audience. If you heard so many times people say, who's your ideal customers? Who's your ideal customer persona? Spend time to get to know these people. You have to, it's not just about it's a male and female, it's between that age. You got to walk a mile in their shoes. So when you're posting something, when you're creating content, I want them to think in their mind as to, oh, wow, it's like they're sitting in my head. They know what I wanted. They know where I was stuck. They know what my question was. So this is definitely helpful. So that's what I want you to do. I don't know why I think I've got something flying around. It's bothering me. So spend time to get to know your audience, what they need, and creating quality content. I've got a workshop that goes through creating content week after week like a pro, and I go really deep into this. Facebook Live is another one. You get 10 times more engagement when you go with Facebook Live. And to be honest with you, people are more understanding when it comes to Facebook Live because they know it's live, they know what happens, and it creates that interaction. And if you're just starting out with Facebook Live, I can guarantee you no one turns up, which is a good thing because we can practice. We can get over the fear, and don't ever watch yourself again. If you watch yourself again, you're going to delete it. I do that sometimes. If I watch myself, I go, oh my God, look, I did this. Or like right now, I've got this thing as my hair. I keep touching my face. But just do it. And you don't have to be in it when you're starting out. You can just film your back surrounding in your office. You can talk, but if you're not comfortable, you don't have to be in it. But absolutely, if you can, test and trial it. And like I said, first couple of times, no one turns up because the algorithm needs to know that you're consistently going live, and then it will definitely let people know. Boosted post is another one. I know that I said how to increase your organic. I know that I said we're not going to talk about advertising, but in 2018, Facebook took away the amazing reach that we could get, and they gave us boosted posts. Again, $1 trillion business. They made it with advertising. So they gave us a boosted post. What boosted post does is just increases your reach and engagement. engagement. Again, you need to be very specific who you want this post to be boosted to. So get your audiences ready before you boost that. The same thing with boost. If you don't want to use boost, there's a lot of opinion about the boost. For us, for my clients, it works well because we can increase the reach and engagement. We find out we buy data, meaning we see who is actually interact with our client. We can learn and find out what graphic, what images, what videos, and what copies work. And it's a cheaper way for us to find out, for the customers to actually find out what works best, what content we can post, because it gives you all that insight and it's way cheaper. You can do it with $2 or $3 a day for the boosted post. If you have a problem with the boosted post and some expert told you it's bad, don't do it. Go to the ads manager and use brand awareness and reach. It's exactly the same, but it definitely helps. Alice is asking us hashtag works. They've started it last year, Alice. Last year they suggested you can use hashtag, but I wouldn't go anything like with Instagram. We sort of used to 28 to 30 hashtags. In Facebook, we are not too much in hashtags yet. But if you specifically know your hashtag, it can be searched, absolutely use it. I can never say what works and what doesn't, but I wouldn't go more than 10 or 7 or 8 because it looks weird and we don't talk hashtags. We've got to remember they're human on the other side. But absolutely, Alice. Last year they came up, I think early last year, they came up and said, we can absolutely use hashtag. It hasn't been that big, not the same as Instagram, but absolutely use it. But make sure we're very specific and not generalistic with the hashtags. Okay, so we talked about boost. So if you're seeing posts that are doing really well, like with your current audiences, if that's really well, you can absolutely boost it to increase your reach. So one of the things when it comes to the boosted reach, if you have been using Facebook page, you've probably seen this. Facebook tend to report that nearly everything you post is 85 to 95% above average, but that's not entirely accurate. I know maybe they're doing some tricky stuff, but it's not entirely accurate. What I would recommend for you to do is create your own KPI. What determines for you being a good post? And then when you find out and you think, okay, met my KPI, and I think I'm going to spend some money on it to increase the reach and see what happens. Again, you don't want to go too much. You always want to pay attention to your audience. Your audience advertising obviously is the easiest way to expand your reach within Facebook or Instagram. The good news is I want you to remember that if you really pay attention to what your audience want, and producing great content to meet those needs that you can solve, then Facebook will reward you with better engagement and reach, because that is the core of their business. They want to create an environment so people can come and stay. And if you are creating original content, you're creating engaging content, then they will absolutely reward you with it. Because if your audience, especially when your audience is hanging out with your interact with your audiences. All right, so now we talked about this. So how do you increase your organic reach? We talked about that. I want to talk about measuring the success of your content. So when I said create your own KPI, this is something that we look for. I'm going to share exactly what we look for. That is so easy. I've seen that so many times. I've seen so many insights and reports that is so fancy that I don't even know what it means. So it's just so easy to get caught up. So the thing we look for in my agency when we're doing any content creation for the audience, these are the things, the only thing I look for: engagement, reach, impression, follows and like, depending, even if people say it's vanity metrics, but vanity metrics, sometimes it helps to determine the next action. Video performance is another one, because you probably heard it. Everyone says you have to do video, and it's very important because because your audiences want the video. So this is what we look for, and this is all comes down to if we use exactly the same thing. And I tell the client, and I'm telling you, use the same thing to create that KPI for yourself. It requires time and requires for you to keep checking everything, comparing everything against each other. But I promise you will get better. No one born to know all of this. It just happens. It gets frustrating, but you can absolutely get there. So I'm going to go through each one of them. So the engagement. Engagement is one of the biggest and the most important metrics when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, and to be honest with all of the platforms. So this actually says this engagement means if they commented, if they liked, if they shared, especially. So what Facebook does is scores it. Every single engagement is a score. Even if someone just clicks on it and you don't know, that is still a score, but they look at it in a reach section. In an engagement, if someone likes, even if they do an angry face, even if they do an angry face, it is considered an engagement. They haven't come and say, oh, we take this engagement as an angry face as a negative. They don't look at it that way, because sometimes you might be sharing something who you believe in, and that's the angry face is a right thing to do, what a right reaction, and that's absolutely fine. But they give it score. Comment is another score, so it's really good. Sharing is the biggest score. So if someone shares your content for Facebook, that's the biggest score when it comes to it. If someone does all of them, all the three, that's really good. So that's your biggest important thing on Facebook, Instagram, or even LinkedIn, or TikTok, all of them. It's the engagement, which is an interaction with your content. The next one is the reach. So reach can be defined as the number of people who see your content that you post. Even with the decline of reach, and it is still an important matrix, because even if someone, I think I said that before, even if someone doesn't like it, but they stop scrolling and they read your content and click on read more, that's still considered a good thing. I want you to remember, it's still a good thing. Don't think, oh, they didn't like it. It's not, it's okay. I want you to pay attention to your insight. Next one is an impression. So what is impression? Impression is a number of times someone saw your content, even if the same person sees it multiple times. So I don't want you to panic and go, oh my God, I knew it. People are going to see it so many times. And no. The competition on Facebook is high. And when your audiences see your content multiple times, it can trigger for them to take the next action. Algorithm knows how many times it takes for me to see the content before I click, before I check out the Facebook page, before I go ahead and purchase. So they know this. They know exactly how many times. So impression still important. They're very clever though. You got to remember, they don't want their end user, the user who uses this platform for free, to get pissed off. Even though sometimes we do get pissed off, that's who I've been seeing this person ad, is because we decided that this is their interest, so you can actually go and clear your interest and you don't have to see them again. But they know how many times I actually look at something or see something before I click a button to check it out. So, and the competition is really high. And impression has always been around. In any marketing that we used to do, impression has always been there. It's just that we weren't able to track it like we could do with Facebook or Google Ads or any other with online stuff. Next one is page likes and followers. I know a lot of people say, oh my God, it's vanity metrics, it's not that important. To me, it is important, because if someone liking and following your post, following your page, it means that the post resonating with them. I still check them out to make sure that it's not a bot and it's actually a person, but they might be interested in order for them to follow and like your page. Still an important, I believe, still an important matrix to look at. I won't rely on it so much, but I definitely consider it if it grows. So next one is a video view. So when it comes, that's the last one. video views has to be there because it's very, very important. So there are 3 sections we look into. Retention. So like the name says, retention is how long your viewers have been watching your video. So even if, let's say you have a 15 minutes video, and you come and say, actually, they're not watching it. They're only watching 40 seconds. That doesn't mean your video is bad. We always look at the video and say, maybe because you would, like, a lot of things that I've seen people make a mistake is when they're creating a video, they talk about themselves, they talk about their business, they talk about this, they talk about that. I want that part is when some people get frustrated and they leave, or phone rings or something happens. I always say start with, if you want to talk about yourself, maybe use middle or the end of it. Get to the point. Let's say 40 seconds, if that's not the case, we'll divide them into small pieces, and rather than having, for example, 15 minutes, we'll go, oh, I don't have time to watch this for 15 minutes. We'll always recommend to make them into shorter videos and decide to test it then and decide maybe it's the content. But don't give up that easily. You just have to test and try. The good thing about this program, about these platforms, you can test. You can test and see what the algorithm tells you. The next one is an engagement. It's exactly the same thing. Obviously, with the video, retention is very important. That's the first thing we look at. Engagement is another one, like with anything, commenting, liking, sharing, and all of that. The next one is click. So what click is if they clicked on something on the video. So link click, if they clicked on something else, how many times they clicked the play button, have they stopped it, have they started again. Then under the click, you have other clicks, which could be if they checked out your picture, your logo, because they could see it on the corner. If they do that, that's other clicks. But clicks are important as well. Because sometimes it shows when they stop and start, it's a good indication they want to hear what you say. How great is that? You can actually see what's happening. All right, so now we talked about that. I'm going to talk about using group as part of your organic strategy. I've got 10 minutes to do it. So Zuckerberg came and said, we want to bring people together. We want to strengthen the social fabric and fabric of humans and everything else because we're getting separated, the community declines and everything else. Guess what they're going to do? They're using group to do that. And like I said, 400 million people belong to the Facebook group, more than 100 million see group as the most essential part of their Facebook experience. So it's something I want you to think about if that's something you want to do. So I'm going to share Facebook group goals. So you might actually say, okay, I am thinking of Facebook group. I don't know what the goal. It has to have a goal. Before we do anything, we must have a goal and see what this group is going to do for us. It's not, again, it's not promoting your products or services. We're not going to use that, but we want to know how to complement. How is it going to complement your business? It could be a product specific. It could be industry specific. If you are in a specific industry, I'm sure you have Facebook groups that you join. A customer user group, they work really, really, really well as a customer service and as people buying your products over and over, or even becoming your brand advocate because they've got access to you. They work really well. A networking group, which especially since COVID, there has been a lot of networking groups. So what I want you to think about what kind of community would be most helpful for your audience. And you can actually use your own resources to do that. So that's what I want you to think about. It's all about what creates value for your audience, for your clients on Facebook. That's what I want you to use it for. So how do you increase engagement on Facebook group? It's very simple, very, very simple, and a lot of people forget. Welcoming members to the group, it goes a long way. And I say that every time I run this group. We tested this with 3 or 4 different clients in the group. The business owner puts away 15 minutes a week. Sometimes it's actually less, but we selected 15 minutes because the half an hour was too long, and 15 minutes and 20. So 15 minutes was the best time. The person actually goes live and call out every single person who joined thank him for joining, how excited this person is for them to be part of the group. They share the screen and go where to find all this information. People love it. Engagement goes through the roof, because imagine they're like, oh my God, this person actually taken time to welcome me. It goes a long way, trust me. Post polls, surveys, quizzes, they work really well for the engagement. Ask question. As human, I always say we're very good at judging, and we always love to give our opinion. So you can absolutely use that. It's not just about the business. It's not all about the business of products and services. This or that, this outfit or that outfit, we love to get involved with you. Utilize Facebook Live. There's another one is the Facebook Live. Don't forget. And engage directly with members. They love it when you ask the question. If you're starting out and you're brand new, it does take a lot of effort. It definitely does. Sometimes you think nothing is happening, nothing is doing anything. Hang in there, do it. Definitely do it. It will happen. It will definitely help if you have resources, because it does. You can just create a group and leave it. It requires a lot of effort, a lot of work in order for you to build it, but it will pay off. 6 to 9 months, it will definitely pay off. You have to have a strategy though. Always have a strategy. Okay, so when we come into measuring the success of your group, there's only 3 things I look at. Only 3 things, obviously. Growing group is a good group. If you are increasing your numbers of the members, this is really, really good. Always, obviously, the growing group is always a good group. It's a great group. The next one that we always talk about is identify members who engage you with your content and when you're most, and find out when they're most active. So what are they doing? Are they commenting? Are they posting? Are they interacting with others? The group insight tools even show you what days and times are best for you to share the content based on your historical data. I have to say based on the historical performance, because you wouldn't know when you're starting out. It does take time. Same as with everything else, even with Facebook pages and advertising, it does take time. So one of the things I love about finding out about your members is identifying as your brand advocate. Another thing that works really well, some of the group, they do not allow you to promote. But what we do is we use the insight to find out which one of the members are actually really engaging. One of the things that we always recommend is have a star member. And on that day, have a communication with them before. And on that day, allow them to have, depending on what you want to do, allow them to either promote their business on that day, if they have specials for your audiences. That will definitely help your audience or other audiences to get involved. But even if some of them, they're just providing value, it's really good to thank people. It definitely helps to see that you're appreciative of their efforts. It does take time. Everything takes time, but it will definitely help. These are the ones we talked about. Yay! No, we're definitely going to go through any questions that you have. All right. Do you have any questions? Let's come back in here. I'm going to stop sharing. Oops, where am I? Okay. All right. Any questions? No? Okay. How can you work out the best time to post content to engage the most? It's on the inside, Alice. If you're posting on the inside, it actually tells you where your audiences are engaging. But then again, if you're just starting out, if you don't have enough insight, it might not be there. But as you post and people get engaged and your group grows, the insight and the group insight will definitely tell you. You're welcome, Rosie, not a problem. Oh, Barbara, you will get a recording sent out to you. So they just need to do some tweaking, and I think they have to load it somewhere, but you will definitely get the recording and you will definitely get the information. Thank you so much. Not a problem, man. So how many of you have a group? Does anyone has a group?
Neda, Janine here.
Yes.
I have 2 groups and I've had them for quite a while. They've got quite reasonable numbers in them. But one of the ways that I do grow it is I have meetup groups as well. And when people join one group, I invite, so they might join meetup, I then invite them to check out the groups on Facebook as well, because it's a similar feel and a similar sense. So they usually then join that. So it's built up the numbers.
Okay. So what's your plan for the group though? Do you use that to promote your products and services? Do you have specials for the group?
I have, certain posting days. So it gets engagement from people to have certain posting days on both the groups. And I schedule a lot of my posts as well as put posts up generically and regularly also. So there's something going up. They're fairly active groups.
Oh, that's good. So how do you use that group for your business?
Sorry, I missed that. What you saying?
How do you use that group for your business, for your products, for your services, for your business? How does that help? How has it helped your business?
What it's done is it's promoted my profile more than anything else. I think that's the best way. I do put out obviously marketing posts as well for opportunities to free strategy calls and that type of thing, and that engages people as well. But it's the profile part of it that you are the expert in this, so that's your
brand awareness.
Pardon?
That's your brand awareness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. So there is a strategy. So that's what I want everyone to know. There's always a strategy behind it. So Janine is using it to build her brand, which is sort of cheaper if you had to keep advertising. That you've got to pay, obviously, it's either you pay with time or you pay with money. But have a plan for your group. If that works really well, to build a brand awareness, to bring them into the funnel, and even have that discussion, because they already see all the value that she provides. And people buy it. If they want to buy your products and services, doesn't matter how much you give them, they will come and buy from you, which is really good. That's good, Janine. I'm glad it's helping.
Yep.
Any other questions, Evan? No? All right. If there is no question, no, not a problem, Susanna. If there's no question, I'm not going to waste any of your precious time. Enjoy wherever you are. It's 4 o'clock in Perth. If you're Brisbane, it's probably 6 o'clock. But enjoy the rest of your afternoon or rest of your evening. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. See you later. Bye, Georgia.
Bye.
Rita. Shailene. Oh, I love that name, Shailene. Am I saying it right? Shailene. It's a beautiful name.